Hi everybody, Dan Illman here with Dan's Top 10, taking a look back at the recently concluded Saratoga Summer meet. My top 10 is going to be a combination of best horses, best individual performances, and horses to watch for the remainder of the 2022 season and into 2023. I'm curious as to your top 10 list. Please comment below right here on the Daily Racing Form YouTube channel. Some honorable mentions to discuss. Olympiad, the winner of the Jockey Club Gold Cup, has had a sensational season for trainer Bill Mott. Jackie's Warrior, arguably the best sprinter in the country. Very fine performance in the Grade 1 Alfred G. Vanderbilt, going 6 furlongs. But we'll kick things off with some two-year-olds, and we'll start off with Brad Cox's runner, Verifying. The number 10 in this week's Dan's Top 10. Beautiful pedigree. Son of Triple Crown winner Justify has gotten off to a red-hot start with his first crop performers. Verifying is a half-brother to 5-time Grade 1 winner Midnight Bizu, who banked over $7.4 million in her stellar career. Verifying made his career debut on the Travers Day card. It was a very solid and professional performance. He showed good speed in between horses under Joel Rosario and just got away from a more experienced foe in the stretch. Very likable the way he polished that race off. He had been working in company with a Brad Cox trained runner named Instant Coffee. He was going better than that horse. Instant Coffee came right back to win a very fast maiden special weight during the tail end of the Saratoga meet. I expect Verifying to show up in a stakes race in Kentucky for his next start, and if all goes well, on to the Breeders' Cup. Number 9, another two-year-old, Echo Again. This is a son of Gunrunner who just seems to sire nothing but good horses. Echo Again showed brilliant early speed in his victory at Saratoga on August the 20th, his career debut. He earned a 94 Beyer speed figure. He's a half to a stakes winner going long named Pneumatic from the family of Grade 1 winners Pyro and Olympio. Trainer Steve Asmussen indicates races like the Iroquois at Churchill Downs or the Breeders' Futurity at Keeneland could be next. Probably one or the other for Echo Again. Number 8 in Dan's Top 10, two-year-old filly, Prank. Prank is a half-sister to Belmont Stakes winner Mo Donegal. She was no surprise at 1-2 in her career debut on July the 31st. She took some pace heat in this race. There were some other fast horses. Prank was too fast, and as you see, Prank draws off to win by 10. She earns a 91 Beyer speed figure. Now, unfortunately, the promising Prank is out for the remainder of 2022. She suffered a hairline fracture of her left pastern. She needed surgery. Trainer Todd Pletcher believes she's going to come back 100%, and we'll see her in 2023. And if she runs back to her debut, she's going to be a factor in next year's three-year-old filly division. Up next is number 7, and it's Warlike Goddess. And we're going to watch Warlike Goddess win the Glens Falls at Saratoga, going a mile and a half on August the 6th, and you don't see too many mile-and-a-half races won in this fashion. Joel Rosario just swinging into the stretch with Warlike Goddess. She wins under a mere hand ride, a 98 Beyer speed figure. Warlike Goddess would run once again at the tail end of the Saratoga meet in the Flower Bowl. She was beaten in the neck at 1-5. She was compromised by a glacial pace. The leader that day went 3/4 of a mile in 1:19 and change, and the closing Warlike Goddess did everything she could. She did everything but win that race, and she lost nothing in defeat. She's won 8 of 11 for trainer Bill Mott, who is planning on running her against the boys in the Breeders' Cup Turf, her next engagement. Malathat is up next for trainer Todd Pletcher. She is our number 6 in Dan's Top 10. The personal ensign this year at Saratoga was as stacked a field as you're going to find for a 5-horse field. You had Champion Latruska, you had Grade 1 winner Search Results, you had Malathat, you had Clairiere, who had just won the Ogden Phipps and the Chuvy, beating Malathat, and was one of the hottest horses in the country. But Malathat wore them down. She really appreciates distance. She's a horse that can get kind of worked up in the paddock and in the post parade before her races. She behaved beautifully in the personal ensign. She responded with a 1:05 Beyer speed figure. This horse won the Alabama last year. She's going to be a major player against fillies and mares towards the remainder of this year. It starts at the Spinster at Keeneland. Might end up for her in the Breeders' Cup Distaff. Codys Wish is up next, and Bill Mott's done a sensational job with this 4-year-old son of Curlin. Here he is running down the aforementioned Jackie's Warrior in the Grade 1 Forgo. Codys Wish earned a 1:12 Beyer speed figure for this race. He has won 6 of his last 7 starts, the only loss coming by a dirty neck in the Grade 3 Challenger, his seasonal debut off the layoff at Tampa Bay Downs. He won the Forgo at 7 furlongs. He's very comfortable at a mile, however, and Mott indicates that Codys Wish will next start in the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile, or at least that will be his ultimate goal. Talk about brilliant sprinters. Jack Christopher might be the best 3-year-old sprinter in the country. He proved it last time out in the Allen Jerkins. This horse has won 5 of 6. His only loss came in the Grade 1 Haskell behind Cyberknife. He finished a good third as the favorite that day. That distance at 9 furlongs just too far. Jack Christopher cut back to 7/8 for the Jerkins. 104 Buyer's speed figure. Always finding more to fend off Gunite, a quality Grade 1 stakes winner as a 2-year-old at Saratoga. Jack Christopher's connections, they have decisions to make. He's very good sprinting. He's also very good at a mile. Either the Breeders' Cup Sprint or the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile, which will be around 2 turns at Keeneland, are up next. Nest might have had one of the finest seasons we've seen at Saratoga in a long time. She kicked things off with a win in the Coaching Club American Oaks. She beat Kentucky Oaks winner Secret Oath by over 12 lengths that day with a 104 Buyer. She showed that race was no fluke with her win in the Alabama, a win by 4 lengths. Easy as pie, 99 Buyer's speed figure, once again leaving Secret Oath in her wake. Nest ran second in the Belmont Stakes against Boys, and she's just had a fantastic campaign for Todd Pletcher. Never off the board from 9 lifetime starts, Nest will make her final start before the Breeders' Cup in the Beldame at Aqueduct. Life is Good, another one trained by Todd Pletcher. Life is Good was very, very good in winning the Whitney in Saratoga, going 1 1/8 miles. This track was wet. There was a big rainstorm. The track was sort of harrowed before the race. Life is Good's only going to win this race by 2 lengths. And you might say, maybe it wasn't the most visually impressive performance, but consider the fractions over a track that was very deep for most of the meet. He went 46 and change, 110 and change on the lead, facing a little bit of pressure, and he just refused to lose. A 107 Buyer's speed figure for Life is Good. He's a horse that's won 8 of 10 in his career, and we'll see him next in the Woodward at Aqueduct. And our number 1 in Dan's top 10, it's got to be Epicenter. Winner of the Grade 2 Jim Dandy with a 102 Buyer's speed figure. He exploded and proved he is the best 3-year-old in the country by winning the Travers, the Midsummer Derby. And here he is just swinging into the stretch. He goes right by Haskell winner Cyberknife. This was a field that had the Kentucky Derby winner. It had the Preakness winner. Epicenter never gave them a chance, and he ran fast. A 112 Buyer's speed figure for Steve Asmussen, who says Epicenter will run next in the Breeders' Cup Classic, where a daunting challenge awaits. If Flightline shows up for that race, that horse looks like a superstar. But Epicenter, the leader of Dan's top 10 at Saratoga, curious to see your top 10 as well.